The Chinese government and the Communist Party tells Elon Musk how high to jump, and he jumps because he's the only U.S. car manufacturer with multiple plants in China, and he doesn't want to piss them off, which is why he's got an ethical and financial conflict which undermines our national security, and we just saw it play out writ large in the government shutdown funding negotiations in Congress. I'm going to tie it all together. You're here on Legal AF, the YouTube channel, independently operating, independently providing commentary and analysis. Now, let me get down to the nitty-gritty. There's a lot of talk about the government funding bill that was finally passed the last minute. They called it bipartisan in order to allow the government to avoid a holiday shutdown. Now, Elon Musk, from his perch of running a non-existent, and it hasn't been formed yet, outside government entity, non-government organization, NGO, called the Department of Government Efficiency, which is neither a department nor in the government. He, from that perch, called for the bipartisan bill that was originally proposed, which within it contained restrictions on the abilities of American investment in Chinese technology, especially quantum computing and artificial intelligence, basically military weapons grade systems. We didn't want American dollars invested to enhance the capability of someone we consider to be our enemy. But that was in stark contrast to what Elon Musk wants, because Elon Musk, as I said at the top of the hot take, operates the only U.S. car manufacturer and manufacturing logistical system in China. He's got a plant that makes Teslas. He's got a plant that makes self-driving cars. He's got a plant that makes batteries. And he's got a plant or an area that he needs for artificial intelligence computing. And Elon Musk doesn't care about our national security. He doesn't care about the protection of the defense of Americans. All he cares about how many greenbacks he dies with, how much money he has. His personal fortune, because he banked on Donald Trump, went from $257 billion when the election cycle started, before he jumped on the bandwagon, to almost $400 billion today. That's billion with a B. And so all he had to do was start doing social media posts saying that there was so much lard and pork barrel and other ridiculous projects in the bipartisan bill, kill it. But that was a smokescreen. That's not what Elon Musk wanted killed. What he wanted killed was nestled within the bipartisan funding bill were a series of laws, a series of new laws that would have stopped U.S. investment in key military-grade computing, artificial intelligence, chip manufacturing, that type of thing within China. For good reason. Let them use their own money. Let them develop their own science. We don't need to help them with it. And Elon Musk is so close to the communist Chinese government, so close, that there's already been reporting that he refused the request, or he turned off and went and turned it black, the Starlink coverage for Taiwan, which to China is an enemy. Taiwan for China is China. Turned off Taiwanese ability and their military's ability to use Starlink because China asked him to. Literally, China asked him to put Taiwan in the dark, and he did, because he needs Chinese government approvals. For those that don't understand how things work in China, let me explain it. Everything, it's a sovereign wealth country. In other words, all capital factories and investment and companies, technology, natural resources are all ultimately owned by the Chinese government. It could be through a straw person that owns it and gets the benefit of being a billionaire, but it's really owned by the Chinese, by the president of China, by the Chinese Communist Party in China. That's the way it works. And so if you talk about a chip manufacturing plant, a quantum computing lab, or some sort of thing there, it is owned by the Chinese. And they will only allow foreign investment on very limited terms and very strict terms. And they can yank your ticket and throw you out of your own factories on a moment's notice. And that's what Elon Musk doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to offend his hosts. He doesn't want to piss them off and have them evict him from his multiple factories and his AI. So he'll do anything to avoid that. He'll do anything to avoid the Chinese. So he's delegated to the Chinese through Donald Trump the right to control our foreign policy and our domestic policy. Think about it. The bill to keep the government working for you as Americans was ultimately approved by the Chinese government. Let me try it again. We would not be open for business as a government of the United States if the Chinese had not directed in their own way, through their own business pressures, Elon Musk to have the anti-Chinese or pro-American provisions in the bill stripped away. They were not going to allow that to get passed. I'm talking about the Chinese, and Donald Trump was a dupe to allow it. It's easy. This isn't like one of these complicated boards on Homeland, with lots of arrows and red string. It's not hard to put this together. Donald Trump curries favor with the Chinese. He looks like he's in love with the president, invited him to come. First time ever a president of China is coming to an inauguration of an American president, because there's personal investments of Donald Trump in China through his family and with his family. He loves China. He thinks China is also a gateway for the cryptocurrency economy. As a consumer, as a maker, as a manufacturer of cryptocurrency and the like. And he's got people that are whispering into his ear, like Elon Musk, who he owes the presidency to, because the guy spent $250 million of his own money to buy a president, to get a president elected. And he's got Elon Musk up his ass saying, I've got major business interest in China that I don't need disturbed. Strip away all of these measures that would stop American investment in Chinese military-grade computing and chip manufacturing. And that's what happened. It's even at odds with what Donald Trump's own incoming Secretary of State, soon to be confirmed, Marco Rubio of Florida, he sponsored one of the bills to stop this investment, allowing American investment, outbound investment, if you will, into the Chinese economy, and pour it back, as Joe Biden has done, with tens of billions of dollars under the CHIP Act to have our chip manufacturing strengthened here in the country, to make sure that we're on the leading edge of computing and quantum computing and chip manufacturing for weapons grades and national security applications. That's what a president's supposed to do, not abdicate his responsibility and outsource his responsibility to the Chinese government to make decisions about domestic policy. That weird warping of what I just described only happens when you let an Elon Musk in to run a lever of power within the American government. Even our U.S. government in the 1800s, in the early 1900s, didn't let the robber barons into government, didn't make robber barons the head of Treasury, Defense, Commerce, Attorney General. They thought better of that. A couple of them ended up in there, but not all of them. I thought it was bad enough when John F. Kennedy's father, Joe Kennedy, one of the biggest stock swindlers and manipulators there ever was. Where do you think they all got their money from? Running molasses in Cuba, and they made Joe Kennedy the first head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. That's always laughingly referred to in history as letting the wolf run the chicken coop. But here, we're the chickens, by the way, in my analogy. I'll continue to follow Elon Musk warping the outcome to benefit him and undermine the American people here on Legal AF. Take a moment. Independent journalism and independent work here on YouTube, commentary and analysis like you can only find on Legal AF, is under attack. And one way to fight it is to continue to build this particular channel in collaboration with the Midas Touch Network. Follow me, Michael Popok. I got a number of ways. Popok Live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube channel for Midas Touch. Then we've got Legal AF, the podcast, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesdays, I do it with Karen Freeman Agnefalo of Luigi Mangione fame. She was famous before that. And then Ben Mysalis on the weekend. And then we've got a new show I'm cooking up this winter, or cooking up this holiday break with, sounds like he's a roommate of mine in college, Anthony Davis, formerly of the BBC. He and I are going to do a show. It's either going to be like a Brit and an American kind of show, or Global AF or something like that. So until my next reporting on all things Legal AF, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.